Hello everybody. Today I'm here to introduce the I-NERGY project. Well, actually, I'll be focusing on the first open call for SMEs of the I-NERGY project. And after I hopefully explain in a very clear way what the first open call is about, I'll also give you some details about the project. So just to kind of start, I-NERGY is a project that aims at developing artificial intelligence for next generation energy networks.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so my name is Carolina Fortuna. I have a PhD from computer science, and I work on data analytics, artificial intelligence, configurable systems, this kind of more computer science topics applied to various domains. And I structured the talk as follows. So I'll talk about the open call for SMEs, and then I'll give some project facts and what motivated us as a consortium to actually propose this the I-NERGY project, and why we are organizing these open calls. So let's go and talk about the call. So essentially, we are looking for SMEs and startups that have a product in kind of AI and want to apply it to energy, or want to develop something really nice, or have like some kind of, let's say, energy estimation system, or some peer-to-peer trading system, or whatever is relevant for progressing the state of the art in the energy sector and making it more dynamic and more reactive and proactive, and so on. So our deadline for application is January 20th next year. And the maximum amount of money you can get in this call is 50,000. Who can apply? Well, a single individual, SMEs, also startups that are registered as a company in the European Union member states, and its overseas countries and territories, or associated countries to Horizon 2020, sorry. Of course, this kind of standard rule for this kind of research funds that we get from European Union. And it's important that the companies have been registered or incorporated before the 8th of November, 2021. So if you don't have a company yet that is registered, you're not eligible for this call. The benefits that this kind of open calls offer, and specifically this one, is that you can get funding. So this funding is kind of split into two. So you can get up to 10,000 for the kind of first deliverable, or the first thing that you need to do, which is develop an individual mentoring plan, and kind of an idea for a proof of concept. And then you can get another up to 40,000 for developing a prototype of what you proposed in the first deliverable. We as a kind of a project, and we as the members of I-NERGY offer technical mentoring. And the entire duration of this project should not be longer than 6 months. So if you look at the image below, essentially there's the entire project should last 6 months. You start, we have a mentor that is assigned to you that monitors your activity. There are 2 milestones, milestone 3 at halfway, and milestone 6 at the end. And there's like the first milestone is the payment milestone after 3 months. What is expected from you? So from you, it is expected that you find some resources, either your own because you already have some service or some application, or you have very nice and skilled and smart people and enthusiasts that kind of know how to take open source tools and build something amazing out of them. Look at some challenges that that this project is trying to address that are relevant for the energy sector, and then try to actually develop the solution. So as I said, so we expect you to develop building blocks and applications for new AI algorithms and services. They should be suitable for cross-sectorial challenges. The idea is that you would start around TRL 3, maybe 4, and get to TRL, let's say 5 or 6 during these 6 months. And of course, one of the aims in general of this kind of projects is to enrich AI resources in Europe, so strengthen European competitiveness in terms of AI. It's a good idea to contribute to the AI for EU on-demand platform. So what kind of challenges should you address? Let's say what have we identified? But of course, these are just some examples. I think I even cut the list because it was a bit too long and it was hard to see. These are just some examples of the challenges. You can see more online in the detailed specifications. But essentially, we are thinking about AI for network assets, predictive maintenance, let's say, AI for network loads and demand forecasting, AI for energy demand and supply prediction, let's say for various trading platforms, AI for energy storage management decisions, tools for predictive analytics to help TSOs and DSOs to kind of better manage their assets and better manage their maintenance in the first case. AI-based consumption and flexibility prediction, AI services for solar energy and photovoltaic applications is also something that is a challenge these days. AI for electric vehicles, for trading, and of course for investing and supporting other investment or other kind of business decisions. The areas of experimentation that we are kind of identified are, as I said, AI applications in energy, data governance and data valorization for energy services. Maybe this is particularly relevant for this event because we have identified as using data in new and innovative ways and help decision making at different governance levels, an extremely relevant aspect. Then we are also looking at analytical applications in energy, monitoring energy usage and application on a household level, on a regional level, on a national level, predicting maintenance, and as I said, demand forecast. So how much is likely that an area will need, how much energy an area will need, how much, what are the prices and what's the available, so then we can kind of plan ahead and get the best price out, the best offer for the users and for the businesses. By the way, I think I forgot to say this at the beginning, but please feel free to ask questions. So as you see a slide or as I'm saying something, if it's not clear, please drop the question and I'll be happy to take them. Maybe, probably it's better if I take them at the end. But yeah, just so at the end of the talk, it would be great if this open call details are clear to everybody, and we'll be happy to receive your applications. So as I said, with what resources will you work with? So open source or proprietary resources, modules, models, components. Or you can also look at AI for EU platform or at energy or at the project assets that we already developed or are developing and get inspiration or maybe even take them and expand them. So we are happy to support you in that during proposal writing and also if you're accepted as part of the mentorship. To apply, you actually, our colleagues from Funding Box created this area in their website for the I-NERGY open calls because we will have 2 open calls. I'll say more about it a bit later. Essentially, this is the URL. So I-NERGY-1-OC.fundingbox.com. And this is where you kind of have to go to sign up to check the documentation, and then here you can also later on submit your application. So this is like a screenshot also from the website. So there on this website, you'll also have necessary documents that will help you get the best understanding of the open call requirements, as well as the application and selection process. So make sure you read them carefully before starting writing your proposal and before applying. So in the guide for applicants, we offer a comprehensive list of instructions and describe the entire process of this open call. We also have frequently asked questions where we kind of try to answer the things that we expect that you'll be more interested in. And if you don't find your questions there, please feel free to contact us. The draft sub-grant agreement will be also coming soon. Right now, maybe this is not so relevant, but of course, our colleagues are working on it, and we'll update that part in due time. So how do we make the selection? Once you have your vision, you have your great idea, you wrote the proposal, and then we need to actually see which ones are the best. So this is kind of the process. So you submit using the Funding Box website where you have registered and uploaded all the documents. And then we do an eligibility check internally and a pre-scoring based on pre-scoring criteria, which are available in this document guide for applicants that I was mentioning before. After the pre-scoring, the proposals go to external evaluation, where each proposal is evaluated by at least 2 independent experts. And these experts read it, comment it, and score the proposals. Then there is a consensus meeting where the selection committee ranks all the proposals and decides which are the top 10, because in this call we only accept 10. And kind of decides for the best ones and notifies the applicants. So some will be rejected and some will be accepted. The ones that are accepted will proceed with sub-grant agreement to kind of fill it in and sign it. So this is from the guide for applicants. So as I said, the first step is the automatic eligibility check, that the first step that we do internally. So for this one, the first evaluation step is about verifying some basic requirements based on the statements from your proposal. So your proposal will be admissible for the next phase if it is complete, readable in English, and includes all mandatory sections. If it has been submitted online via the application form within the deadline. So it's January 20 before 5 p.m. CET, Central European Time. It has to include the properly filled declaration of honor. Read this carefully online in the application form, as we will check the related submitted statements. You will not be able to change them after the deadline. So this is a detail, but you have to kind of take into account and be careful about it. Moreover, a first check regarding the eligibility of the participants specified in section 3 of the document will be carried out. So the proposals that do not comply with this criteria will be excluded. We will inform you about the results of this first eligibility check soon after the deadline. So section 3 is important. So how do we do the pre-scoring? If we receive more than 55 eligible proposals, a pre-scoring system will be included to help us make a pre-selection. So it's this is kind of a trade-off between the effort for reviewing and the costs of reviewing and the quality of the project. So most likely, over 55 is quite a lot. So what does this mean? This means that the Funding Box open call management system, called Funding Box Enterprise, will automatically assign a score to the eligible proposals according to the following criteria. Dedication to the project, it's 10% of the weight, up to 10 points. Team skills, 15% of the weight, of the weight up to 15 points. Proved experience in AI and machine learning, 15% weight up to 15 points. Proved experience in the target market, 10% weight up to 10 points. Current technological readiness levels, so these are the TRL levels that I was mentioning, 10% weight up to 10 points. Scalability and openness of the solution, 15% weight up to 15 points. Market opportunity, 15% weight up to 15 points. Which type of license are you planning to offer for your future product or service? Okay, so assuming, I mean, if after the first two steps, if your proposal passed the first two steps, then it will go to this external evaluation. And for this external evaluation, well, it kind of it's a good place to be. And let's say, so for those who have been selected for external evaluation, you'll go, as I said, your proposal will go to external independent evaluation. Probably one will be specialized in AI and the other one in energy field, or maybe they'll have both competencies. There are some more details in the guide for applicants after this, which I omitted, but essentially, after the evaluation process, it may happen that there are ties between proposals. So ties will be solved using the following process. So in order. So let's say if one proposal has 4.5 in excellence in impact, and the other one has 4.7, then the one with 4.7 will have priority. If they have the exact score, then we look at the difference in excellence. If also that is the same score, then we look at the highest score obtained in implementation. And if none of this helps, then we'll go for date of submission. So if you submitted earlier, you'll get it. If you submitted later, this is kind of these are the criteria for solving the ties. So at the consensus meeting, after all the reports are in and we do a final ranking. So the selection committee consisting of funding box responsible for the management, the coordinator of the project, which is the Institute of Communication and Computer Systems, engineering, which is one of the partners responsible for the technical and innovation management, and ASM Terni as beneficiary and pilot leader, and Parity, an SME with significant experience in acceleration programs, will decide by consensus or 2/3 majority, and based on the ranking received as a result of the external evaluation, the list of up to 10 finalists. So as I said, there is this on funding box, there are this page that I showed, and you can see there are some documents. So you look at the bottom right, and you'll see some tabs there, and you'll be able to find all this information and more. So just related to open calls in general. So as I said, this call, open call 1, will fund maximum 10 proposals with a maximum duration of 6 months. But there will be a second open call. The second open call will take place somewhere in October, November next year, so 2022. While in open call 1, only SMEs and startups are eligible, in the next one, also others will be eligible, like EPIS beneficiaries, research institutions, and other relevant stakeholders, and at least 2 entities should be involved, 2 organizations should be involved in a proposal. So we are kind of, in the next open call, we'll be expecting mini consortia. And in the next open call, there will be up to 15 proposals accepted, not like 10. I mean, it will be a bit more. And the budget will be higher also next year, so up to 100,000. But of course, also the expectations will be higher. So that means that more mature services or applications will be expected, and actually there will be minimum viable products, not prototypes like this year. So altogether, during the lifetime of I-NERGY project, which is 36 months, we will accept and fund and support 25 projects worth cumulatively worth 2 million euros. Okay, now that I explained the open call to which we hope you'll be applying, I'll tell a little bit more about us, about the project. So I-NERGY started on 1st of January 2021, has a duration of 36 months, is coordinated by ICCS from Greece, and it's funded under Horizon 2020 with a budget of about 5 million EU contribution. We are 17 partners from 9 different countries, and we have research and academic institutions, SMEs, and large ICT companies, with leading expertise in AI, ICT, data, and energy sectors. We also, one of our partners is also Funding Box, which actually specializes in cascade funding to startups and SMEs. And we have 9 EPS stakeholders covering the full energy value chain. So we have power network operators, including transmitting and distributors. We have energy suppliers, aggregator energy cooperatives, power market actors, ESCOs. And okay, looks like I kind of have some bit of an issues here. Okay, sorry. Okay. So what was the motivation for I-NERGY project? So AI, as we all know, is bound to revolutionize our lives, the global economy, and of course also the energy sector. So fast and accurate forecasts are kind of important for a very dynamic and agile energy market that is expected to emerge. Demand supplies predictions are also something that are, let's say, still under development, and with overall aim to ensure grid flexibility and optimize maintenance. The AI proliferation in the energy sector holds the premises for a larger environmental and social impact. So of course, we are migrating to more more energy sources, to a scenario where we have prosumers everywhere, where we have distributed storages and so on. So overall, the energy sector will be more decentralized, more democratized, more digitalized. And all this is meant to ensure environmental sustainability, alleviating energy poverty, fighting climate change and environmental degradation. So with technology, we can support some of these things. Of course, we'll introduce some additional complexity, but the idea is to try to find the optimal trade-offs that would actually manage to address some global problems in an efficient way. Our vision is to deliver an energy-specific open modular framework for supporting AI on demand in the energy sector. So based on state-of-the-art AI and data technologies. So we are looking at energy commodity networks to optimize operation. We are looking at distributed energy resources for generation, buildings, districts, communities. And we are looking at energy efficiency and non-energy related services, AI enabling synergies, implications on other energy and non-energy. So like, for instance, how do you ensure that you improve a building so to improve its energy consumption? We also kind of look a little bit at that. I-NERGY has kind of a synergy with the AI for EU platform, where we proliferate AI EU platform with AI resources for the energy sector. So we contribute some data, data sets, models, and try to strengthen the overall impact of this European technology development in the area. In the project, we have a number of pilots. We have 9 pilots and several use cases per pilot, so totaling 15 use cases. We have 2 testbed facilities and digital twins across 8 countries. essentially, as presented in the previous slide, we kind of classify them into two general groups: energy commodities networks, distributed energy resources, and energy efficiency and non-energy related services. So for the first one, for the energy commodities and networks, we have the first pilot in Portugal, second pilot in Spain called Veolia, and the third pilot in Italy, ASM Terni. And you can see for each of the pilot, the respective use cases we've considered. This information is also available on the I-NERGY website. So actually I took the screenshots from there for your convenience. And you can see that we are looking, for instance, for the Nestor pilot in Portugal. One of the use cases is to employ AI for enhanced network assets predictive maintenance, integrating off-grid data with condition-based monitoring. Then we also look at AI for network loads and demand forecasting toward efficient operational planning. So this, yeah, we essentially we are looking at two different ways for optimizing the system. For the distributed energy resources, we have 4 pilots in Spain, Italy, 2 in Italy, 1 in Croatia and 1 in Greece. While for the last category, we have 5 pilots in Spain, Slovenia, Latvia, Italy, and Spain. Again, 2 Spanish. Okay, so 2 Spanish, 1 Italian, 1 Slovenian, and 1 Latvian pilots. And to actually demonstrate these use cases and prototype them, we kind of developed, let's say, a technology stack that is specific to I-NERGY. And this architecture of the technology stack that I'll be presenting now, it's kind of includes everything. So only subsets of these are used for different pilots, not necessarily everything. But essentially, we kind of have this, let's say, data ingestion part. You can see it totally at the bottom, where we ingest data from different resources. So there can be from smart meters, they can be from some systems such as SAP. There can be some various applications, or sometimes this data comes also from for the form of Excel sheets. And we developed an interoperability module, which actually has some parsers or some adapters that kind of read this data and feed it to the homogenization module and data preprocessing to kind of prepare it for actually extracting insights and performing estimates. So using either we kind of store this data on some storage, or we feed it to some streaming systems such as Kafka, depending on the requirements of the pilot and of the application. And for Kafka, then different applications can read it from different Kafka topics. So this part is like mostly, this screenshot here mostly focuses on this kind of manipulating and processing the data, and not on extracting yet knowledge or information or useful information from it. Once the data meets the appropriate format, it is sent to a reasoning engine, to the AI model training suite, and other I-NERGY, other components that are available in I-NERGY. Some of the applications actually only involve visual analytics and reports. So essentially, we have just some pilot dashboards where decision makers can automatically slice and dice the data. And then we also have some forecasting, energy forecasting and flexibility forecasting dashboards that actually display outcomes from predictions from different models that we've developed during with the training suite. In the model training suite, we support incremental distributed self-learning. We support transfer learning on various use cases. The models are served with the BentoML that acts as a model serving framework and used in production. There's also some interaction with the Gaia X platform, which unfortunately I don't know technical details about, so I would need to ask my colleagues. So if there are any questions related to that, please feel free to ask, and maybe drop also your email address so we can get back to you on that detail. Okay. Then once let's say these slides, so kind of these are the two aspects of the I-NERGY. But then, as I said, I-NERGY also interacts with AI4EU. So I-NERGY asset can be published to the AI4EU catalog and used by different EPS users. And I-NERGY services can be onboarded to AI4EU experiments platforms as well. So some of the example I-NERGY services that we kind of expect are like energy load forecasting, predictive maintenance, operation planning, digital twin for demand for DER, digital twin for electric communities, energy flexibility and forecasting, and so on. For as far as the open call and the I-NERGY project, that's my presentation. Maybe just before we move on to questions, this is the I-NERGY website. So I-energy.eu. And here you can see more about, you can find our press release about our first open call. So you can go and read more. You'll find similar information as in my presentation. You can see several announcements that we had, including other open calls from other projects, some of the services that updates on the services that we are developing, our presence at Euro 2021. You can find out about our objectives and our partners. You can see more details about our pilots. It's essentially, this is what I had in my slides and what I was sharing with you. You can dive deeper into these details. You can see the events we are participating in, of course, open calls and other resources. So funding box also has dedicated parts for I-NERGY, so please feel free to also visit those ones. I guess that's what I had prepared for today, for making you aware of our open call and our work and our mission. So I'll be really happy to take questions if there are any. Okay. Let me see if I can see the chat. Okay, I don't see any chat. Any questions yet? Okay, no questions so far. Okay, maybe we can still wait for a few seconds. I hope my presentation was crystal clear, and that's why the lack of questions. Okay, if there are still no questions, then I'm happy to finish, and feel free to contact us, either my colleagues or myself, for any other discussions that you might feel like having. Okay, thank you. Wishing you a nice weekend.